Sairam students, I hope you all are fine. Today let us continue with the lesson of geography. Lesson number 5, Major Domains of the Earth. Children, in a previous class we had learnt about the 4 major domains of the Earth, that is lithosphere, hydrosphere, atmosphere and biosphere. And the surface of the Earth, it is a complex zone and it can be divided into 3 main components of the environment, that is lithosphere, atmosphere and hydrosphere. And we had learnt about lithosphere, that is the solid portion of the Earth. It is called lithosphere and it is comprised of rocks of the Earth's crust and the thin layer of soil that contain nutrient elements which sustain organisms. And the Earth's surface, it can be divided into 2 main divisions, that is the continents and the ocean basins. And the large land masses on the Earth, they are called continents, and the huge water bodies on the Earth are called ocean basins. So children, today let us learn more about continents. Now children, let us learn about continents. That is, there are 7 major continents. How many continents are there, children? There are 7 major continents and these are separated by large water bodies. How are they separated? They are separated by large water bodies. Children, can you name the continents? These continents are Asia, Europe, Africa, North America, South America, Australia and Antarctica. Children, you can see all these continents on the world map. You can see Asia, Europe, Africa, North America, South America, Australia and Antarctica. And the greater part of the landmass, it lies in the northern hemisphere. Children, if you look at this map, you can see that the greater part of the landmass, where does it lie? It lies in the northern hemisphere. Now children, let us learn about Asia. Asia is the largest continent and it covers about 1/3 of the total land area of the earth. And the continent, it lies in the eastern hemisphere. Children, can you locate Asia in the world map? So you can see that Asia is the largest continent. And how much total land area does it cover? It covers about 1/3 of the total land area of the earth. And where does it lie? This continent, it lies in the eastern hemisphere. And the Tropic of Cancer passes through this continent. And Asia is separated from Europe by the Ural Mountains on the west. Children, here if you look at the world map, you can see the Tropic of Cancer is passing through this continent. And how is Asia separated from Europe? Asia is separated from Europe by the Ural Mountains that are on the west. And the combined landmass of Europe and Asia, it is called the Eurasia. That is Europe plus Asia. So what is the combined landmass of Europe and Asia called? It is called as Eurasia. Now children, let us learn about Europe. Europe is much smaller than Asia. The continent, it lies to the west of Asia and the Arctic Circle passes through it and it is bound by water bodies on 3 sides. Children, here you can see Asia and Europe. So Europe is much smaller than Asia. And where does it lie? It lies to the west of Asia. And which circle passes through it? The Arctic Circle, it passes through it. And you can see that this continent, it is bound by water bodies on 3 sides. Now children, let us learn about Africa. Africa is the second largest continent after Asia. And the equator or 0-degree latitude runs almost through the middle of the continent. And a large part of Africa lies in the northern hemisphere. It is the only continent through which the Tropic of Cancer, the equator and the Tropic of Capricorn pass. Children, here you can see that Africa is the second largest continent after Asia. And you can see the equator or the 0 degree latitude, which is running almost through the middle of this continent. And a large part of Africa, in which hemisphere does it lie? It lies in the northern hemisphere. And children, here you can also see that Africa, it is the only continent through which the Tropic of Cancer, the equator and the Tropic of Capricorn pass. And children, the Sahara Desert, that is the world's largest hot desert, it is located in Africa. And this continent, it is bound on all sides by oceans and seas. And the world's longest river, the Nile, it flows through Africa. So children, which is the world's largest hot desert? The Sahara Desert. And where is it located? It is located in Africa. And how is the continent bound on all the sides? This continent of Africa, it is bound on all sides by oceans and seas. And which is the world's longest river that flows through Africa? The world's longest river, the Nile, flows through the Africa. Now children, let us learn about the next continent, that is North America. North America, it is the third largest continent of the world, and it is linked to South America by a very narrow strip of land called the Isthmus of Panama. Children, which is the third largest continent of the world? North America. It is the third largest continent of the world. And how is it linked to South America? North America, it is linked to South America by a very narrow strip of land called the Isthmus of Panama. What is isthmus? A narrow strip of land which joins two land masses is called isthmus. Children, here you can see in the diagram how a narrow strip of land is linked between two land masses, that is between North America and South America. And the continent lies completely in the northern and western hemisphere, and 3 oceans surround this continent. Children, here you can see on the map, where does the continent lie? This continent, it lies completely in the northern and western hemisphere. And how many oceans surround this continent? 3 oceans, they surround this continent. Can you name them, children? These oceans are the Arctic Ocean in the north, the Pacific Ocean in the west, and the Atlantic Ocean in the east. Now children, let us learn about South America. South America, it lies mostly in the southern hemisphere, and the 2 oceans surround it on the east and the west. Children, where does South America lie? South America, it lies mostly in the southern hemisphere. You can see in this map. And how many oceans are surrounding it on the east and the west? There are 2 oceans, that is the Atlantic Ocean and the Pacific Ocean. They are surrounding it on the east and the west. And the Andes, world's longest mountain range, runs through its length from north to south. And South America, it has the world's largest river, that is the Amazon. So children, here you can see the world's longest mountain range, that is the Andes, which runs through its length from north to south. And which is the world's largest river? The world's largest river is the Amazon in South America. Now let us learn about Australia. Australia is the smallest continent that lies entirely in the southern hemisphere, and it is surrounded on all sides by the oceans and seas, and it is called an island continent. So children, which is the smallest continent? Australia is the smallest continent. And where does this continent lie? This continent, it lies entirely in the southern hemisphere. You can see here on this map. And how is it surrounded on all sides? It is surrounded on all sides by the oceans and seas. So what is it called? It is also called as an island continent. Now children, let us learn about Antarctica. Antarctica, completely in the southern hemisphere, is a huge continent, and the South Pole, lies almost at the center of this continent? Children, here on this map you can see, where is Antarctica? Antarctica, it is completely in the southern hemisphere and it is a huge continent. And what lies almost at the center of this continent? The South Pole. It lies almost at the center of this continent. And as it is located in the South Polar region, it is permanently covered with thick ice sheets and there are no permanent human settlements. This means that Antarctica is a huge continent and it is located in the South Polar region. So, what is it permanently covered with? It is permanently covered with thick ice sheets, and so there are no permanent human settlements in this continent. And children, do you know many countries they have research stations in Antarctica, and India also has research stations there. These are named as Maitri and Dakshin Gangotri. So children, what do many countries have in Antarctica? Many countries they have research stations in Antarctica, and India it also has research stations there and they are named as Maitri and Dakshin Gangotri. Now children, let's recap what we have learned today in this lesson. Children, today we learnt about continents. That is, there are 7 major continents. These are separated by large water bodies. These continents are Asia, Europe, Africa, North America, South America, Australia and Antarctica. And the greater part of the landmass lies in the northern hemisphere. Asia is the largest continent. The combined landmass of Europe and Asia is called Eurasia. And Europe is much smaller than Asia and the Arctic Circle passes through it and it is bound by water bodies on 3 sides. And Africa is the second largest continent. It is the only continent through which the Tropic of Cancer, the Equator and the Tropic of Capricorn pass. And North America is the third largest continent of the world. And South America and North America are linked by a very narrow strip of land called the Isthmus of Panama. And South America, it lies mostly in the southern hemisphere. And the Andes, world's longest mountain range, runs through its length from north to south. And South America has the world's largest river, the Amazon. And Australia, it is the smallest continent. It is also called an island continent. And Antarctica, completely in the southern hemisphere, is a huge continent. As it is located in the South Polar region, it is permanently covered with thick ice sheets. And many countries have research stations in Antarctica. And India also has research stations there. These are named as Maitri and Dakshin Gangotri. Now children, let's do a quiz. Multiple choice questions. First one, which is the largest continent? A. Africa, B. Asia, C. Australia. What's the correct answer? Yes, B. Asia. Asia is the largest continent. Second one, which longest river flows through Africa? A. The Ganga, B. The Yamuna, C. The Nile. What's the correct option? Yes, C. The Nile. The Nile is the longest river that flows through Africa. Third one, the mountain range that separates Europe from Asia is dash. A. The Andes, B. The Himalayas, C. The Urals. What's the correct option? Correct. C. The Urals. The mountain range that separates Europe from Asia is the Urals. Fourth one, the continent of North America is linked to South America by dash. A. An isthmus, B. A strait, C. A canal. What's the correct option? Yes, A. An isthmus. The continent of North America is linked to South America by an isthmus? Very good children, those who have guessed all the answers correctly. Now children, it's time for an activity. Here you can see comparative size of the continents. So you have to count the squares that are given in figure 5.3 and answer the following questions. That is, name the largest continent and which is larger, Europe or Australia. Children, these answers you can write in your notebooks. So children, today we have learnt about 7 major continents. We shall learn more about this lesson in our next class. Till then, goodbye children.